This is a bold theatrical experiment combined with classics, Hamlet.Babylon, and Dream of a Funny Man. Today, ProART focuses on those who dared to stage works by Dostoevsky and Shakespeare in their own way and interpretation. I must say that it's a very interesting approach. We understood that we could create something together. Hamlet, the Emigrant, that is exactly what piqued my interest. I lived in Ukraine for 3 months. I simply like looking for a home myself wherever I go. I acted in Lublin and in Krakow among the Poles. Not long ago, the first underground theater in Ukraine opened in the center of Odesa. The musical multimedia performance Iphigenia Apotheosis, based on European strategy, was staged by Gogol Fest curator Dmytro Kostyminsky, the actor, performer and stage director Igor Aronov, who acted in his native Odesa in the theater on Chiny with his own mono-performance Dream of a Funny Man, based on the story of Fyodor Dostoevsky, is also a member of the creative team. These young creators have been working together for a long time, and this should not come as a surprise. After all, they're all in search of new theatrical forms, and by experimenting, each one of these actors eventually realizes their creative potential. How people are so good when they're sinless, a canonical writer once said. Only incredibly live acting allows for capturing the attention of the audience. And actor Igor Aronov is preparing himself to demonstrate this live on stage. His task is to personify the fantastic story monologue Dream of a Funny Man by Fyodor Dostoevsky. An actor in this specific genre must be specially trained. The performance requires my full energy. I have to wake up my entire body for this. For any performance, I do warm-ups, that it has become a habit for me, and this performance especially requires it. I call it launching and exuding vital energy. And this is the main source of energy for acting in my performances. So I must jump up and down and make turns here and there to feel the penultimate energy. Work in non-traditional theatrical forms is a true test for any actor, especially when the audience is sitting at an arm's length from the stage. But the effect you achieve is much more powerful than the one you achieve in the usual staging with a wall. It's as if you start feeling like one body with all the spectators. Staging is long-living for a mono-performance, because its premiere took place 8 years ago in Odesa. Igor continues his performances in Kiev. The audience goes to watch the show, and the venue is always a full house. It raises all those questions and issues that are lying right before your eyes on the surface, so it is relevant in our time. A very small person becomes even smaller, because there is a clear division of people in society, and this has a huge impact on a small, poor person. To tell the truth, I adore such performances when actors immerse spectators into their own depths, when serious topics of love, happiness, and other emotions are touched upon. I'm interested in Dostoevsky. As a world-famous writer, there were moments when in Odesa people approached me and asked me whether I was a writer. One woman thanked me because my staging helped her solve her problems in life. There are the things that give me additional energy and add fuel to the fire so that I have the desire to continue my quest. Dostoevsky was a very specific writer. He was a kind of universe that even sucks you in. Dostoevsky and science fiction. It sounds unusual, however the story plot is simple and clear. The protagonist, in desperation of emotional torment, decided to commit suicide, but he met a little girl with her grief, and that became his salvation. He knew the truth.
Она все бежала за мной и не покидала меня. И вдруг в ее голосе появился тот звук, который у очень испуганных детей означает крайнее отчаяние. Я знаю этот звук. И хоть она и не договаривала, но я-то догадался, что где-то там помирает ее мать.
Life around us is probably that paradise. It's one of the interpretations, where he says, the main thing is to love yourself as others. It can be said that it's true.
Так отчего же я вдруг почувствовал, что мне не все равно и что я жалею эту девочку?
The performance journey into the dream of a man who dreamed of the perfect world. Can a person live in a world without villainy, lies, jealousy, or violence? Igor Aronov, based on Dostoevsky's last work, makes an effort of reinvention of the myth at the core of modern civilization.
Не только жалости к тебе сейчас не чувствую, а если и бесчеловечную подлость сделать, то вот теперь могу. Могу!
It's that myth that is contained in our culture. The main myth of Christian culture, the myth of the fall of man, of paradise and hell. This work has the myth and its interpretation, created by Dostoevsky. This becomes more relevant as it rises above the moment. This is an attempt to convey the message that all men are equal, that we are all human. In the actor's opinion, the theme of catastrophic self-destruction is the most poignant and relevant as an impartial and accurate diagnosis, which characterizes modern-day civilization. It sounds so modern, there are some time-dependent references, but may not so sharply rest one's ears and be out of the contemporary context that I try very hard to convey through myself.
Ведь и на нашей земле мы истинно умеем любить только с мучением. И только через мучение, ведь по-другому-то мы любить и не умеем, и другой любви.
The performance by Aronov is a kind of an experiment to realize the notion of the impoverished theater of Grotovsky, when all external attributes of theatrical action are cut off, thus revealing the essence. 40 years ago, he invented the notion of omitting everything that was far from theater, and only then the viewing audience and the actor remain. Foreign experience helped Igor Aronov in his career. Indeed, he went through an internship at the Grotovsky Institute in Wrocław, and also worked in many theaters in Lublin. I have a great deal of experience. It's another level of perception of this visual means, but I still act and it works just fine. The mono performance has nothing superfluous. It is staged simply, and nothing distracts one from the deep prose by Dostoevsky. The viewer sees a funny man who knows the real truth. The main thing is to love others the same as you love yourself. If only everyone has such a desire, then everything will immediately come together.
Я говорил им, что это я во всем виноват, что это я один принес им разврат, унижение и скорбь, что это во мне во всем дело. Я учил их, как сделать крест.
I think that it's relevant today, because we're so absorbed by this fast pace of life, and we do not manage to focus on anything happening around us. And look at yourself from the outside. If this goes well, I'll be very happy. The artist evokes in the viewing audience the deepest feelings, for example, empathy, pity, pathos, sadness, and sensitivity. It was first and foremost the younger audience that was fascinated by the mono performance Dream of a Funny Man. When everything was over, and there were 3 minutes of silence, when you felt and realized something for yourself, you drew some conclusions. It is precisely for this that it is worth attending such performances. In my opinion, such high-quality acting is rare to come by these days. I consider it very decent work. I firmly believe that it is always relevant and in real time. I enjoyed it and saw something deeper, something that I had never noticed before or contemplated. He said not to seek the laws of happiness, but to seek happiness itself. In my opinion, there is also a solution in this case, but there is no need to seek it because this can be detrimental. This monologue expressed many emotions. Through these emotions, the author conveyed the essence of the work and truly returned to a really profound source, but it must be admitted that the action was absolutely brilliant. Dmytro Kostyminsky, like Igor Aronov, started as actor, but found himself in directing. Among the priorities for his profession, Dmytro considers close cooperation with other schools of drama acting. He decided to stage Hamlet, exploiting the talent and charisma of the Polish actor Bartłomiej Sosnowski. He's of Polish origin, who started his career in France. He has been living and working in Switzerland for 20 years now. Everyone would like to act this part. We ask questions that modern-day people can ask themselves. The fact is that William Shakespeare has been popular for over 400 years because he is in fact a very contemporary author. Hamlet.Babylon was created by Dmytro Kostyminsky in co-production with Switzerland. It premiered in 2013 at Gogolfest. Viewers were fortunate enough to see this unusual and enticing staging of Hamlet only 3 times. I remembered our premiere that coincided with the revolution in Ukraine. After the premiere was staged, the issue of finding a home was very critical and relevant for me. It was probably the strongest moment for me in my life as an actor and a person. Since the premiere, the director has updated and improved his eccentric performance. The friendly team did everything to show the modern Hamlet to Ukrainian spectators. In the interpretation of this play by Dostoevsky and company, the issues raised by Shakespeare's tragedy and their relevance were preserved. The fact is that there are performances of Hamlet of different epochs and by different authors. Because one of the issues in this play raises the theme of immigration of Hamlet the Wanderer, who is looking for his home. And now, after Ukraine was granted a visa-free regime, staging Hamlet has become very relevant. And this theme is raised in the monologues of Hamlet and Bartholomew about himself personally. I think it appeals to the public because all people face the same questions. We live a little here and little there. Ukrainians go to Poland, we go to France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, and we all are looking for our place in the world. Hamlet.Babylon is well known to the European viewer. The highlight of the play is the fact that it is multilingual. The idea of this play is quite simple, to bring people closer to the culture of the country in which the play is staged. When we appeared on the stages of Switzerland and Austria, I spoke some phrases of my text in French, and it was very interesting to break this barrier and turn directly to viewers speaking in their native language. We acted in English and partially in German in Germany.
I don't understand!
We worked much with Bartek because he had to study the Ukrainian language. He didn't speak it. For this reason, we had to work not only over the text and the drama of the whole process, but we also had to help him improve his language skills. I act speaking in 3 languages, Polish, French, and now Ukrainian. There are many viewers who also go abroad, so I have to speak different foreign languages. I think that in this way we can simply tell about a person today. Part of Gertrude was acted by actress Victoria Litvinenko and Ophelia by Tatiana Harviluk from Dark Daughters. Yes, everything was very easy and quite natural, because we come from the same school, the Theater Dark, headed by Vlad Troitsky. We have acted together for many years, side by side. Viewers saw Shakespeare's heroes in an unusual framing. These are modern techniques, actors from several drama schools, and a combination of Ukrainian folklore with traditions of the Zurich Music School.
We
met Dima once in Lausanne, Switzerland, and at that moment he was living and studying in Zurich. And so, word by word, we realized that we could create something together. Alexei Retinsky composed the score for the play. It is our first experience working together in a joint project. Staging in the play is non-standard. This all captured the viewer's imagination. The stage director expected this, and he was not mistaken. The effect worked. I really wanted the backstage to blend into the heroes. It was not just a kind of backstage with video projection replacing the scenery, but an example of the interaction of the actors on the stage. The key theme of the play is Hamlet traveling around countries, seeking shelter and a land where he could take roots. But everywhere he goes, the Danish pilgrim leaves only ashes behind him. But despite everything, he failed. Nothing turned out in his life the way he wanted. All his attempts failed. One of the most expressive scenes in the play is the desperate struggle of Hamlet the actor with his illusory images on the screen. Alas, numerous clones win, but Dmytro Kostominsky introduced an optimistic epilogue into the concept. Of course, he's left with nothing. But nevertheless, I somewhat altered the denouement and the grand finale. And at the end, the system fails. And after its failure, Bartek says when Hamlet will be left with nothing, he will continue to exist and his name will be Bartek. Showing the play around Europe, its creators came to the conclusion that Ukrainians, without any doubt, are ready for modern avant-garde performances that can surprise and conquer the hearts and minds of any viewer. I think modern Ukrainian culture and the contemporary Ukrainian audience need them, because they are a fantastic example of a truly high-quality artistic European performance. And so, appearing with our performance in Ukraine, we are gradually developing this relevant, contemporary, theatrical and world art. Such creators as Igor Aronov, Dmytro Kostominsky, while experimenting, create performances that broaden the theatrical horizons of the Ukrainian viewer and connect them with the collaboration and the endless search for new forms in art.
Я ничего не понял.